Welcome to Loup TV. I'm your host, Gene Munster, along with Andrew Murphy. Our topic today is the iPhone 12 lineup, and specifically, do we now have too many options? I just want to give some high level, get everybody on the same page here. Is this year, Apple came out with 4 new phones. Last year it was 3 new phones. They now have 7 new phones that you can purchase. And this is a step up from 6 phones a year ago. So that's kind of the very high level background. And of course, a couple weeks ago, we had a couple of the versions go on sale. And now more recently, the iPhone 12 Pro Max and the iPhone 12 Mini. So for those of you who don't know Andrew, I've known him a long time. He is acutely in tune to the details on the phone. I would put him, if there was a pyramid, for example, at the top of the pyramid that would pay attention to these details. It's a new dynamic. Typically, Andrew has to think about 3 different phones. This year, 4 phones. And I'll start with a question. Well, you typically upgrade annually. You typically do that. How are you thinking about upgrading this year?
Before I go, Gene, can I spit it back to you as an iPhone upgrade program member yourself? Which phone are you planning on getting?
I'm going with the iPhone 12 Mini. I'm thrilled to go retro on the screen size. I'm also a little bit nervous. My eyesight is not good. I own glasses. I almost never wear them. And this may be a catalyst for me to actually start to wear my glasses. But I got my eyes squarely set on that iPhone 12 Mini. How about you?
That's a heads up pro tip. You can use the software zoom to make
Nice.
the home screen bigger and the fonts, and you're good to go. I am in a different camp. Real quickly, and some of the genesis of some of these thoughts was just the idea that there was no obvious choice for me as an annual upgrader, early adopter. I didn't have an obvious choice. I ordered an iPhone 12 Pro this year. I got the graphite model and didn't love the color. It sort of has a brown tone to it. I returned it, and now I'm thinking of the Mini, or just thinking about considering keeping my 11 Pro, which is a great option too. It's plugging away just fine. And I think the incremental benefits over the 11 Pro for the first time, we've heard this for years, different types of consumers say, I don't need that new one. My old one works just fine. For the first time ever, I'm in that camp. And I found it, to be honest, sort of sad almost that I wasn't as eager to upgrade, and I didn't have the fun and excitement around upgrading to the latest iPhone. Although the Mini,
Let me interrupt you there, Andrew. That is noteworthy, given you are on the upgrade plan, and is noteworthy that you'd consider not upgrading. It's still, I think, for what I'm hearing is you're still contemplating an upgrade, so we're not quite there yet. Is that
yeah, I'm
accurate?
thinking about the Mini. I'm going to pre-order it, and I'll test it out. I may return it. I could imagine not liking the small size. But one benefit I think is actually that I might use it less, which would be great.
I like that.
But are we at my question is, are we at a point where we don't just have diminishing returns of additional options, but we're actually jumped into a territory of negative returns of additional options, whereby iPhone users are having more trouble choosing which phone is right for them, and sort of this paradox of choice now has entered into the equation. Similar to, I can't imagine if I was an Android user how I would choose my phone. But do we have
interrupt?
too
There's
many
45 on AT&T's website. There's 45 options. We're going to exclude the 2 flip phone options that they have. 45 non-iPhone options from AT&T. So 7 to 45 that seems like a pretty clean lineup. But you asked the question, have we kind of jumped the shark here? And I'd like your take on that.
Well, for me personally, it does feel like harder to choose. The incremental benefits of the Pro versus the non-Pro line, for example, aren't as compelling, which again, we've heard that for years, but it just struck me for the first time this cycle that they're not as compelling. But I think there's benefits to that too for Apple in terms of interoperability, in terms of production efficiencies, and I think
Well, let's hold on
setting the
the
line.
interoperability and production and, just kind of, I guess, kind of
Well, with
stick
the
to the demand
MagSafe
side.
technology on the 12 and the 12 Pro line, with the form factors being similar, and actually the 12 and the 12 Pro being identical in size, so cases work together and the accessories work together. You basically have three options: the Mini, the middle, I'll briefly call it, and then the Max. The middle is either the 12 or the 12 Pro, but those are one size option as
So
as a group.
effectively, you're saying you're considering not upgrading for the first time, which is noteworthy. And separately, you see the wisdom about what they're doing with the product lineup, creating more standard, I guess, components that can be leveraged throughout the multiple years. Therefore, there's some probably cost savings there. Is that the right way to think about your high level?
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think they can ride the cost curve down, and the Mini can replace the SE as a budget model over time, and then ride the cost curve down on the 12. Then I think annually continue to differentiate as best they can the Pro. But again, we're getting to the point where the incremental differentiation is just not as significant. For example, selling the iPhone Pro as a professional level video editor and capture device. I don't do much video editing and pro level, where those selling points just don't mean quite as much to me as some of the selling points have in the past, like materially better cameras and things like that.
I think there are two topics there. The secondary topic on the components, I absolutely agree with you. There's ways that they can improve costs by leveraging these. And I think the A topic about, have we a sense gotten to a point where there's just not enough incremental features, or that they have kind of sliced the lineup just too fine here. A couple perspectives is, as you said, Andrew, this idea about what is the incremental benefit. I think it's been around for a long time, and I think what we have seen over a long time, if we just take the view of looking at history, is that consumers talk a lot about that. It is unique that you're talking about it now, but consumers have talked a lot about that. iPhone lengths of upgrades have expanded over the years, but at the end of the day, it's less about a feature that people upgrade their phones. It's more about their commitment to the platform. Apple has high retention rates in the mid 90% with iPhone. And I think that that is going to be ring true, is that and consumers will simply need the phone, and whether it's in the next 2 months or the next 1 to 2 years. And the other piece too is when you talk about features, I think a massive feature is around 5G. I believe that it will take time, but it will more than live up to its hype. And I think that that is going to be a upgrade cycle that will last for a few years. So I think we're probably on two slightly different camps with this. I'm in a firm belief that probably one of the best ways to play 5G, invest in 5G, is to own Apple. And I think that the iPhone is going to be foundational to it. We're going to have to do a postscript to this episode, because I think everyone's going to be, it's a cliffhanger we're going to leave you with. Will Andrew upgrade or not? Stay tuned to a future Loup TV episode. And on behalf of Andrew and Gene, bye for Loup TV for now.